Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal. And joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is Joshua Gangsta Time Code.
It's called partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What's good, Chris?
Hey.
What up, everybody listening?
Also joining us, it is my brother, our producer. It is Edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース
What's up, nerds?
Hey, the soundboard is also back. I figured it out. We are still doing a little bit of audio only stuff as my computer is dead and I'm still working on my little temporary workspace, but we are happy you guys are here regardless. Thank you guys for joining us as usual. We have a big ass show today. We have a ton of stuff, a couple of monthlies, some Chainsaw Man. We're gonna get into. Very excited to do so. So let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs. You could find me at the Chris Aspinall on Twitter and Instagram, and also check out my other show, The Shweekly. It's a comedy podcast that has been going for about 5 weeks today. Actually, we're at the midway.
Who's it hosted by?
Michael Marlboro, my character. It's like it's a fictional audio play type show, so it's a little different from your standard comedy podcast. So check that shit out. It's available now. Lots of fun, short episodes. You know, it's a fun time. Check it out. But yeah, that's all my plugs. Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me at JDCole_37. That's on Instagram, and at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. You know what? Real quick, I watched The Last of Us.
I haven't seen any of it.
You haven't seen it yet, Chris?
I have not seen it yet.
I watched it.
Well, you know what? You're missing out because it's fucking hype. It's really good.
No, I know. I've heard nothing but good things.
I would say it's golden television.
Hey, I'm right on
Cinematic
cinematic
television masterpiece. Would that be the right term? It's
Sure.
not cinematic.
No. I think
It's a movie.
is it? I mean, would it count? I guess technically
Cinema
not.
is only movie,
Yeah. No, yeah, I guess you're right about that.
but the Marvel movies are basically TV episodes.
Well, I guess if they're movies, they would be technically cinema, even though Martin Scorsese doesn't think so. But
Fuck Martin Scorsese. How about that?
ooh, damn, that's a shot across the bow, dude.
I only
Yeah,
listen
man.
to Guillermo del Toro's opinion.
Oh, we dropping some real fancy people right now that I have no idea about. That's getting
you ever
spicy
seen-
on this podcast?
You
All right.
Guillermo del Toro. You never seen the Hellboy movies?
The what?
Hellboy.
Hellboy? Yeah, of course.
He's the director of those. Pan's Labyrinth. That was him as well.
Yeah, I remember Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah, he did that.
Oh, he's a cool guy. All right.
He's a pretty cool guy, I would say. All right. Well, Brian, where can they find you?
You can find me at b.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. If you ever want to catch me when I'm streaming, you can find me at twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hell yeah. What are you playing these days? Are you still playing LOL?
I'm playing Valorant nowadays,
He's
but
playing
I'll
Val.
play some League of
Playing
Legends.
Val?
Yes, sir.
In that Val?
Playing some Val?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
All right. Brian off on the Val.
Yeah.
You're gonna be streaming tomorrow night
Yeah,
at
definitely.
8:30 p.m.
Brian, you really should tell people when you stream.
I don't stream very often.
It doesn't-
Probably not. I gotta write that down.
You should tell people when you stream so they can watch you stream it. But anyway, you can follow the show itself at New Jump City on Twitter and Instagram, and on TikTok as well, because I guess we're cool. Our video is down, so I can't make clips right now. But once we're back in operational, I'll make stuff for TikTok. You can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. We will adhere to them. We're a little packed today. We still got some questions backlogged, but I promise we will get to them. I promise.
I promise.
I promise. I swear to God.
Swear to God.
Swear to God. I'm still trying to figure out a little bit of a video situation for YouTube these days. But in the meantime, please subscribe if you're listening audio wise. Subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. That would be super meaningful and helpful. Like, share all the stuff that you do with our old stuff currently. That would be very nice. And if you are happen to be a YouTube video listener who wandered into our podcast, welcome. Thank you. Subscribe to iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. The audio version usually comes out first. But in any case, thank you guys for bearing with us during the audio days of the podcast. Yeah, fuck it. Let's get into it. Let's get this party started. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1078, Escape Limit. Lots of stuff is going on. Last we left off, the Straw Hats are in a bit of a pickle fighting the Seraphim and finding it pretty difficult to defeat these things because they take after the Lunarians, which are basically invincible unless you put out the flames that are on their backs, as Zoro just realized and has informed everybody of. And
Essentially invincible.
Yeah, essentially invincible. In the meantime, Shaka the Good, one of the Vegapunk satellites that make up a part of Vegapunk's overall workflow and brain, has wandered into this devil fruit research lab.
I thought you was gonna say wandered into death.
Well, he might as well have, because as soon as he walked in and discovered Vegapunk and the other CP5 and 7 and 8 agents that were locked down there, he was pretty shot in the face. So not a fun time for Shaka. And the mysterious gunman, we don't know yet, but that's where the last chapter left off. And we open this new one with Stussy and Jinbei, running around the labo phase looking for Vegapunk. And Stussy is informing Sentomaru about the situation, basically informing him that the government is tasked with eliminating Vegapunk and waiting for Kizaru to arrive. Because they are realizing that this may be even worse than Ohara, given, I guess, because not only is Egghead like really fucking advanced in technology and figuring stuff out, and are probably more of a threat than Ohara, they also have military power that Ohara did not. So they're trying to nip this in the bud really quickly. They don't want war with Egghead, essentially, I guess. So Sentomaru uses this to get his people to just start escaping because things are gonna get real bad here. Things are gonna get real genocide-y. It's not gonna be good. Meanwhile, we cut over to the Building C laboratory where Frankie and Usopp and Lilith are going up against the Boa Hancock Seraphim. She has obviously turned Usopp and Lilith into stone. Frankie is only half stoned right now.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was incorrect and you guys are right.
This is true.
It hurt.
Mhm.
It hurt to see that. It hurt.
Hey,
I was
man.
bothered by that.
Everybody's wrong sometimes, I guess. And it's okay.
It's not just about being wrong. It's the fact that I was wrong and y'all were right.
So we
Really bad.
Yeah.
It's a really, really bad feeling.
I bet. Why is it such a bad feeling? We could be right sometimes.
You just wouldn't understand.
I guess I don't. So everybody's freaking out. Frankie is just freaking out about, being turned to stone and the others being turned to stone. When Pythagoras pulls up and he's just running straight forward the Boa Hancock Seraphim, and he's like, "Why have you done this, that snake? Who ordered you to?" And he gets, I guess, crunched. He gets like stepped on by the Boa Hancock Seraphim, uh, and there's the rule of if you don't watch a character in One Piece die, they're probably not dead. So
He
I
blew up for the second time.
that's what's confusing because I don't know if I don't know if it's because of the range of action isn't really shown. I don't know if she stepped on him and then he exploded or there was just an explosion behind her. I can't really tell.
You stomped him out like a can of fucking raviolis. Flattened him.
Raviolis.
You know what?
Yeah. Like a can of raviolis.
Yeah.
You ever put like an aluminum, like you ever stomped an aluminum can flat?
No.
Like an empty one? You never tried that before?
Maybe like a soda can?
Yeah, or a soda can.
Yeah, I don't know
Actually,
if it,
Yeah.
I feel like a
yeah, that's
ravioli can
probably-
would be a little tougher.
No. Yeah, that is really tough. Actually, I'm making that up. It was definitely a soda can.
Damn, you really went for cover on that one. You ever stomped out a can of ravioli?
Maybe I'm just thinking about raviolis.
You just want ravioli? You
I
hungry, bro?
suppose.
I suppose.
Anyway, I guess Pythagoras blew up. I'm not really sure what happened here, but something blew up, and that's not
He
good.
died, bro. He died.
He's dead.
He died.
He's dead
He
as far as
died.
we know. He's dead. Until
Let's vote on it right now. Who? Say aye if he died. Aye.
until I
Fuck
see
you
it,
guys.
until it's fully
Fuck you
confirmed,
guys.
until Oda gives me a phone call himself and it says, "Yeah,
I want the
Pythagoras."
drop
You don't want. Why do you want the drop for Pythagoras?
because it's been a week.
What? He
It's
just
been a week.
died, quote unquote.
Yeah, but the drops are back.
Oh, that's true. I guess for old time's sake. There you go.
We've been wrong before.
We have been wrong a lot. Anyway, so
if he gets reconstructed, that's like being brought to life again.
wait, what?
If he gets rebuilt, that's like being reborn. He still died. That body still counts.
Maybe. We then cut over to Chopper, Robin, and Atlas running around through the laboratory as well. We see that like Robin's talking about how like everybody's battling it out, and if they're fighting, then Vegapunk could still be like kind of in trouble here. Atlas brings up the fact that there's one lab that they used in the past, but it's been locked up for a while. So I think she's
Well, they couldn't possibly be in there.
well, yeah, exactly. She's obviously referring to the Devil Fruit Lab research where they actually are. So that'd be cool. Robin, Atlas, and Chopper are probably going to be the first to reach Vegapunk at this point.
Having hindsight puts you in a position of superiority, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Being fully aware of things that the characters aren't, you really feel
Yeah.
superior to everything.
It makes I feel like I'm all knowing.
Yeah.
And they're
Just piddling
characters.
mortals
Yeah. I like that.
stumbling through life. Meanwhile, at the building 3F, Edison is not looking good. I don't think he's dead, but he is in bad shape. Brooke goes into his soul mode to look for Vegapunk. And
We
meanwhile,
should have amended that.
yeah, it would have been a smart thing to do, I guess, to just do that and phase through walls until we found him. Meanwhile, Sanji eats a straight up brick punch to the face by the Jinbei Seraphim, and he's in his Germa 66 mode. Jinbei Seraphim withdraws his fist, and Sanji's like, "What would you know about the power of love?" Good old Sanji. Meanwhile, Luffy and Zoro are still fighting the Kuma Seraphim. It's not going good. Luffy's just getting frustrated because he can't beat it to death, basically, with his bare fists. And I guess any fighting style that would require Luffy to have a highly strategic mind, I guess, would frustrate him. But they do notice that the Mihawk Seraphim is no longer with them. So Zoro decides to run off and go after him. Luffy then orders Kaku to go with Zoro because Zoro is going to get lost immediately.
He just said go with his Usopp.
Yeah, I do love that. They do this sometimes when Zoro goes off on his own. They just like try to stop him because he'll inevitably get lost immediately. So Luffy said he's going to get lost right away, which is very true. Zoro has been known to go the exact opposite way of like where they told him to go several times throughout the series. So, Luffy goes back to trying to pummel the Kuma Seraphim with his bare hands, and Lucci just yells at him to not do that. And now we get this narration talking about the record of events before the day the Straw Hats actually landed on Egghead, with a little bit of Bonnie crying underneath the giant paw of her father that contains her father's memories. And we get a flashback to about 3 months ago, where the government got a call from Egghead snitching on Vegapunk for studying the Void Century. So CP5 was sent over to ascertain the truth based on this claim, but there was no evidence found. And a bunch of agents, as we all know, have disappeared since departing to that island in the first place. And that at that point, that's when the world government gets a call from the spy on Egghead, basically discussing with them and hardcore snitching on Vegapunk at this point. So, at the, knowing the risks now and the problems that would arise from this, the world government sent Cypherpole Zero, as well as one of the 5 elders personally, along with Kizaru and a number of marine people, to go off and attack Egghead. And that just happened to be the fucking issue that Straw Hats were already descending upon. So it's not that Luffy and them attracted attention. They just happened to arrive at Egghead at the exact same time the government was already pulling up to cause damage there. The narration teases that the resolution of this incident the following day would inflict a kind of shock the world never saw coming. And a pretty big buildup for, what's coming in the arc. As we cut back to the present, and Shaka's very dead looking. It's not looking good for him. And Vegapunk's like, why would you do this? And we see that the shooter is none other than York. And York reveals that she is going to be a celestial dragon, as I guess part of some kind of deal with the government that is coming over. And Vegapunk himself is like, what? Why would you want to be one of those fucking terrible people? And York only responds with, the world only needs one Dr. Vegapunk. And that's where the chapter ends. Wowee, lots of stuff going on in this one. But Josh, what did you think about One Piece chapter 1078? Josh?
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. I don't want to say that it was obvious that it was York, but we all pretty much came to that conclusion. So I'm not gonna claim that and be super proud of it. But man, even with us like guessing at, it's still weird. Like, I wonder where this is coming from. I guess we're gonna get some kind of backstory from her, because I don't think it's something as simple as she just felt like it. I don't know if it's in her nature to want to be something like that. I mean, she craves nourishment. She wants to sleep and eat all day, and I guess that's what celestial dragons do. right? They don't do shit, but just
Yeah.
eat shit and have fun like cats.
Yeah. No, that's very true. I'm trying to see
Eat
what
shit,
she
eat shit,
represented.
sleep, and play.
Yeah, I'm
She
trying.
represented greed.
She what?
She represented greed. York.
Oh, greed. Oh, well, that makes sense.
Mm.
Damn.
Was that greed or gluttony? I'm not sure. It was one or the other.
Oh, you said that very like you knew for a fact. You
Yeah,
can't
no,
do
I
that.
stopped.
You use that
I
tone.
stopped my
like that.
research to
It's
see.
definitely one of the two, like 100%.
Well, I mean, honestly, either way, I guess it works out. But anyway, go on with your thoughts, Josh.
All right, this is super random, but I wonder if Lucci knows how to make the Spanish rice yellow colored.
What? Wait, what?
The
Did you
vanished
hear what
what?
I said? Or
I don't know if I heard correctly.
I wonder if Lucci knows how to make Spanish rice yellow colored, like how to make the rice yellow when he makes Spanish rice.
Why?
Because he looks very Spanish.
He does look quite Spanish.
Yeah, I buy that. Well, I think that Lucci probably.
And why not, Chris? How about that? Why not?
Well, Lucci doesn't really strike me as a person who probably knows how to cook.
Hmm. Well, anyway.
Oh, God.
This is an interesting chapter. I have mixed feelings about when Oda kind of raises the stakes via narration, like saying that the events would put the world in shock. Does he do that? Has he done that historically, like throughout the
Yeah,
series? Does he usually do that before like something major actually does happen?
He
Yeah.
did mention that
He never caps with that, right?
No.
He meant so there was one time before where he mentioned something like this, and it was when the Straw Hat Fleet was made.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was the last time he said they were gonna do some shocking shit that'll shock the world.
I'm sure it's happened. I feel like it's happened at least another time, maybe like during the Wano time, but I could be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not that
Okay.
often, and when he does do it, he is not capping.
So our confidence level as a group, you know, when he says something like this, it averages at a 9.5.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's a lot of lore-based things going on in Egghead right now, so I think there's a lot of I guess validity to the promise.
I wonder what happens when his stellas die. Does that information come back to his brain?
Well, they all share a brain in theory.
They're all antennas.
Yeah. So
even Dr. Vegapunk himself is a robot?
maybe
No.
just his head, but that's maybe it.
He has an antenna that is connected to his brain, which is at the top of Egghead
Right.
Island.
Yeah, so
So he's not a robot, but he's more like a cyborg, I guess.
Yeah.
Is his brain that big ass egghead?
Yes.
Yeah. His brain has grown so large that he can't carry it anymore.
That's
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so like that apple part on his head is a satellite that he uses to transmit his thoughts through his massive fucking brain.
Okay. So he could die and still be alive.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he could die, and I don't know if his main body can die and the egghead will still be alive, but I'm sure his satellites can die and it should all be fine because they all share, like, the only things that he shares with his satellites is the knowledge base, you know, like they all have their own personalities, or I guess like they split off facets of Vegapunk's personality, but they don't really share a vitality. I guess they don't if one dies or if all of them dies, I imagine Vegapunk will be fine. He only keeps he only made these guys so that he can like fully like just get shit done. they're like extra appendages in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's reasonable. A reasonable explanation. I don't have any lingering thoughts. How about you, Brian? Anything stood out to you in this chapter?
So, there's a lot of hoopla going around that York isn't the only traitor.
Hmm.
Just because a lot of the things that York would have had to do to be like the only traitor
Mm-hmm.
would have been physically impossible for her to do alone.
Right. She would have had to have someone like Saul.
I don't know about Saul, but she would have
Yes.
had there is another shadowy figure that hasn't been revealed yet. I don't think that was York. Maybe that's the traitor, or maybe it's another Vegapunk that's working with her.
Yeah.
But
That's what's tough is the other Vegapunks are with the other Straw Hats.
All of them?
The
We're not
remaining
missing
ones.
anybody?
You know, we just saw Pythagoras with Frankie and them, and he's dead, supposedly. We have Edison with Nami and Brooke, and we have Atlas with Chopper and Robin.
Hmm.
Shaka's dead, so I think the only one is among, I guess maybe among the oh yeah, and obviously Lily is with Usopp as well. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's not another satellite, but I could definitely see that there's somebody else probably working alongside York. I don't
it
know.
could be. I think
I don't
she
think it
she
was
could
sent
also.
to beat the shit out of Luffy back in the day, Maru.
No,
Because
it's not
he's
sent
trying to
tomorrow.
evacuate everybody.
Yeah, it's not sent tomorrow.
Yeah. Or you
But-
can use his full title.
But Chris was
What's his
right
full title?
about Celestial
Sent to beat
Dragon.
the shit out of Luffy back in the day, Maru.
I'm not saying all that.
Oh.
Chris was right about a Celestial Dragon being the traitor, though.
How?
Kinda.
I mean, he's
Because
there.
He said that Celestial Dragons use guns to like.
Well, Jay
execute
Garcia is
people, and
there.
She wants to be a
No, he's not.
a Celestial Dragon.
Oh.
Well,
Remember,
Special dragons use pirate guns.
yeah. They tend to shoot people for nothing. Like Doflamingo, when I was talking about how Doflamingo Seraphim might be behind most of it. I think like a lot of the hint was, and you know, this is like also a theory that I heard when we didn't know it was York for sure. That a lot of people pointed to the gun being a Doflamingo thing, because whenever Doflamingo wanted to like put a little stank on his kill, he would personally shoot them in the face. Like he shot Korra, he shot Law. When he didn't have to, he has like the string powers, but when he wants to totally disrespect you, he'll just shoot you.
And that's the CD in him.
Yeah, that's the CD in him. But anyway, Brian, continue on with your thoughts.
Honestly, I don't have much else to say. Just because this was like a nice little setup chapter for what's to come. I really liked the whole interaction between Usopp and what's his name? And Kaku.
Usopp?
It was so fucking
You
funny
mean
where he's
Luffy
like,
and
Usopp,
Kaku?
go! And he was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he called him. I didn't even realize that he called him Usopp. Said,
Oh,
"Go."
one more thing, actually.
Smoked him, and he said like all confidence too.
Yeah, and he didn't even realize it until
Yo,
later
dude,
on.
Isn't Usopp his
Luffy-
friend?
Luffy has no respect for the CP0 guys. He's like, yeah, we already beat you guys. I don't have to respect you as human beings.
It's a callback to when in CP9 in the CP9 arc he also called him Usopp.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, they have similar noses, so.
Yeah, they do.
So real quick,
So
if you go
King?
to page 11, it's like a stupid little detail that I noticed that people noticed. There the panel
page?
with CP5 investigating the Vegapunks. you could see Lilith holding a bazooka at one of the CP5 agents in the background.
Wow, that's a pretty ancillary detail.
That's pretty gangster. I like that.
What? That's about it. Honestly, I just want to see Kizaru and fucking Jay Garcia show up. Just fucking show up already, bro. Oh, wait a second. There is actually one more thing.
Yeah.
So people are thinking that to counter this gigantic military fleet that's coming, that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet is going to show up at the same time.
I guess they would have to know what's going on at this point. You know, Bartolomeo should be like
nearby.
Well, Bartolomeo should be at Elbaf. Because last we saw, he was like vandalizing a territory of Shanks's.
I mean, is Elbaf the only territory he has?
No,
probably not.
But
I would think Shanks is tougher than that.
Probably not, but I think for the sake of, I guess, well, you know, I guess like I'm overreaching, but there was like an issue there that he was fucking about in Shanks's territory, and we never really saw what became of that. So I figured maybe they're trying to pay it off on Elbaf. But I don't know. That was an aside.
Yeah, I think the Straw Hat Grand Fleet is gonna show up during this arc. I don't know when or where, but with a big ass fleet like that, it's kind of setting up the Grand Fleet to show up at this point.
It would be cool if they all pulled up. I would
maybe if the fleet situation didn't happen at the end of the Dressrosa arc, maybe I would like the idea of it more.
Why?
But I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love the fleet.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I was saying. Maybe it's because of when it happened. Like the timing of it.
What's wrong with the timing?
The Dressrosa arc? Maybe I was just exhausted and I wasn't open. I wasn't receptive to that shit.
Just like Luffy, shaking my head.
Yeah, Luffy wasn't exactly thrilled about it either, so you're not alone.
I never thought I'd relate to Luffy on this level.
Yeah. Were those all your thoughts, Brian?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good chapter as well. Lots of jumping around, and I guess establishing information that we already kind of knew in a sense. I guess we didn't know the explicit details of the betrayal that was going on. But you know, a lot of details were happening at a lot of the details that were revealed we knew, we just didn't know who was behind it all. And I guess we were like kind of 1 foot at the door on York being the Vegapunk, the traitor, as if I remember right. Like we weren't fully all in just because we didn't really know, or at least I wasn't. So I'm not gonna claim that either.
Nah, dude, I was right.
All right. Well, Brian, you actually probably were the only one who definitively claimed that it was York.
As per usual, I always see it coming.
Sure. Yeah, you got that one. Yeah, I wasn't sure, but you know, I guess it makes sense. She is the one we seen the least in hindsight. But I guess the only really thing I'm excited for next week. I'm so glad that One Piece is not off. I'm sure that after the next chapter, it's going to be off for like 2 weeks. I'm almost positive that's going to happen. But I guess the last thing I really want to point out is that I think the 2-page spread reveal was like a really cool 2-page spread. To be honest, I love like how it's drawn. I love you know, the screen tones on Vegapunk. You know, the shadows on him. The bigness of York.
Yeah,
I just love how it's drawn. This is like one of the better One Piece like panels in a minute, and I just wanted to give it some shine. I thought it was really well drawn.
York is huge too.
Yeah,
she is bigger than I thought she was.
I think she could just like augment her size if I remember right, but yeah, it just looks really cool and it's a really sick reveal. I think.
One
I'm
more
excited.
question.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys think that they're setting up like the Vinsmoke kids to be like the superior version of Seraphim?
No.
No, because I think the Seraphim are actually superior versions of the Vinsmoke kids.
No, because Sanji literally took a fucking punch to the face by this Seraphim and it did nothing. Meanwhile, Zoro and Sanji are struggling.
Well,
Well,
Zoro and Luffy haven't really taken any hits from this thing. Sanji, I think Sanji's abilities are just like boost to his already like his normal guy toughness. So I don't know if like they're better necessarily because I think the Seraphim were designed by like from what I understand, Judge was working on this kind of thing when they were all together, and then he just went off and did his own offshoot of it. But Vegapunk is such a fucking genius that he pretty much like improved upon Judge's formula.
Mhm.
And I think Sanji on his own, like without all of Judge's stuff, was already so fucking strong that him going Vinsmoke mode just boosts his stats all that much more.
So he is the ultimate Vinsmoke, and that means he's better than Seraphim, right? That's what you're saying?
I wouldn't say maybe not better than Seraphim.
I
But
don't
maybe
know,
he
man. I
is.
think they're setting him up to be
You know,
the
maybe he
superior
is.
technology.
You know what? I'm not gonna argue that. Maybe he is. I mean, he is Sanji. He's the fucking man. All right. He did tank.
I don't know. I feel like the juxtaposition between what Sanji just displayed and
Josh went whoo.
and what Luffy and Zoro, and the comparison between him and Luffy and Zoro is, I feel like he did that for a reason. Like the way that this is paneled shows that they're setting something up here with Sanji.
Well,
Like there's more development to be had with this fucking character, which is insane because he's had so much development over the past like 5 years.
I won't disagree, but I will say that like the only reason Zoro and
did you
Luffy.
eat dinner tonight, Brian?
What?
Have you eaten dinner tonight?
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I can
actually,
tell.
I did.
Oh,
Maybe. Wait,
that's
what do you mean?
crazy.
Looks like you
Because you
couldn't tell
sound
that.
crazy, bro.
What? How do
Did
I
you-
sound crazy?
I think both things can be true. I think like Sanji is doing pretty well against the Seraphim, but I also think that Luffy is not fighting the Seraphim the way they're supposed to be fought. Like he keeps going for frontal assaults and trying to punch the shit out of them when you really got to take out their flames in order to do anything.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's because like Zoro and Luffy are particularly struggling. It's just they're just not fighting them right for some reason, or mostly because Luffy's kind of dumb.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I guess
I
we
think
will.
it would be so. I think it would be poetic for Judge's greatest creation to be his like biggest like his biggest failure. You know.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I think that's what that goes without saying, and I think that's what's happening to Sanji.
Like the thing he created that he thought was a failure was the thing that he wanted that actually surpassed Vegapunk.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, honestly, that sounds cool, actually. So I'm not gonna totally disagree with you on that front, but yeah,
That's
sure.
all my thoughts.
Yeah, I'm also at the end of my thoughts as well. Really fun chapter. I'm excited for next week. I feel like next week is gonna go crazy. One can hope, and I hope it's not off after that as well. But yeah, any rebuttals before we move on?
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, that was One Piece. Let's move forward. Jujutsu Kaisen. This is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 217, Bath Part 2. Last we left off, Sukuna emerged from his weirdo, gross, creepy monster bath, and immediately set out to fight Yorozu, so that he can kill Yorozu in Sumiki's body and totally crush Megumi's soul, allowing him full control over Megumi's body. And on the way, he ended up killing Ishigori, chopped his head into threes, thirded his head, I guess.
Oh yeah,
So not fun.
awesome stuff.
Not fun on Ishigori's behalf, but hey, them's the shakes in Jujutsu Kaisen. So the chapter starts off, I guess, on this soccer field where they've chosen to fight. And they ask, Yorozu asks, is like, why don't you change
Soccer stadium,
a soccer
a
stadium?
football stadium, actually, Chris.
You're right. I'm sorry. A
A
football stadium.
football.
A football.
Football.
A football.
YouTube, Brian.
Football.
A football
Yeah,
stadium.
It's very Dominican.
A football stadium.
Very Telemundo.
Very Telemundo.
Yes.
Anyway, so this basically is like, why didn't you change your face? You have the advantage of that over your. Wait, is that what he had? Oh yeah, why didn't you change your face back? And Sukuna asks, like, the same goes for you. He's like, I think this will be better. We both know that.
I don't know what she means by that, to be honest.
I think she's probably trying to do the same thing.
It seems like she doesn't have much resistance. But
Yeah, I
we
don't think
know
so
what
either.
Her life's about. We don't know. Maybe she only has 10% of her power.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Doesn't
guessing.
look like it, but
That's kind of what I'm guessing. So Yorozu just shoots off shadows, I guess. They look like shadows, at Sukuna, and they start going at it, fighting, hand-to-hand combat. So he goes, so Yorozu, they take a minute from the battle, and he's like, the angel was there, but they didn't notice you, right? But I noticed. Why do you think that is? And Sukuna's just annoyed. He's like, stop asking me questions. And so Yorozu says it's because of love, and says that the commandments and the hate they inspire cannot trump love. Because she wants to be the one to kill him, and she wants him to be the one that kills her. And if he's alive after that, if after she wins, what will he give him? She asks, and Sukuna's like, everything. And he talks about how, like, if I lose, then that would mean I'm dead, and it doesn't matter what you do with a corpse. And Yorozu's like, does that mean marriage? He's like, yes, I'll be dead. You can marry.
it matters to her.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, I guess you can marry my corpse. And Yorozu goes crazy. She's like, I heard you say it. It's a binding vow.
She goes on a 3-page tirade.
Yeah, going crazy, talking about how that she'll be his true wife, and she won't allow a mistress, and that she'll destroy the 3 villages for the ceremony.
3 villages.
And she says, for
And
entertainment,
4 shrunken heads.
yeah, she'll make shrunken heads out of the handsomest boy in each village and compose a haiku. Says, you want to read this fucking haiku?
Even handsome boys get flaky when hung to dry, but it sure is cute.
Damn.
Bye, Yorozu.
Bars. So I guess that works. And she's like, what about Urame? Has Urame been incarnated? And she's like, I'll have Urame prepare a feast. Monkey brain
She's not even
pottage.
sure.
Jesus. She said monkey brain pottage. That would be perfect. It's like, do they eat monkey brains? What the hell? And
Back in the day, bro.
you ate whatever you got your hands on back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess Sukuna's done fucking around, and he summons the divine dogs, the Shikigami that
Divine doggos.
the divine doggos that Megumi usually summons, and basically goes after her. Sukuna keeps going after Yorozu with Megumi's curse technique, and Yorozu gets tight. She's like, "What's that?" is it your vessel's curse technique? And he's like, yes. He's like,
Yeah.
what about Malevolent Shrine? He's like, no, I won't use that. And basically, the reason he's doing that is that, in order to drown Fushigami's soul, he's planning on destroying Yorozu or Sumiki's body with his own technique. So, I guess like to really put salt on the wound. It's like, I'm not even going to use my own technique to do it. And Yorozu hates it. She's like, no, you touch your future wife with a cursed technique that isn't your own. I'm not into that kinky kind of stuff. And at that point, we learn Yorozu's curse technique, and her technique is called construction. Depending on her training, she can recreate almost all substances that she recognizes, except for special grade curse tools. So she has so much experience constructing many types of combat equipment, and she's so good at it that she developed a liquid metal with changeable volume yet stable physical properties due to semi-autonomous cursed energy. And she uses that to make this crazy bug armor. That's wild.
Juxtapose that.
You said juxtapose that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. I thought that was like a starting, like juxtapose that with something.
No.
Just
I mean,
juxtapose that.
You said there was another big word, so I was being petty and spiteful.
Oh, I read that big word. It says semi-autonomous.
Yeah.
I read it, so I didn't come up with the word.
Juxtaposition.
Juxtaposition. So at that point, that's when this guy Sukuna says, "Perfect, it's time for a test drive." And we see that this wheel is spawning behind him, and I know what that wheel is.
Oh, you know what that is.
I do know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what the fuck that is. I know what that is, and I wanted to go back to the chapter to find exactly what it was called.
Yeah, it's the strongest Shikigami in Megumi's arsenal, and it's from the Shibuya arc. And the whole point
the
of this
suicide Shikigami.
Yeah, basically is like.
I'm gonna throw my life away anyway. Move.
Yeah, basically. But
it's cool because he has tropes take form of cursed abilities.
Yeah, but I'm assuming that Sukuna can handle it because he's Sukuna and all that.
Sure.
But
yeah. I bet it'll be a nuisance to him.
Probably.
Slightly.
I mean, the whole point of it is that it immediately attacks you, so he'd have to ward off the attack immediately and do a whole, "You're a nuisance to me." Although I feel like Sukuna will go a little harder about it. He'll be a little more of a savage.
What time it is.
Yeah. But that's the end of the chapter. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 217?
I don't know why she turned into an insect. I know why on an emotional level. I guess on a creative and combat point of view. I question that.
I question it too.
I don't know if you guys have.
Yeah, I question it as well. But
maybe Sukuna's into that. He did just take a bath with.
Maybe he just loves bugs.
Various bugs and nasty things.
That's true. That's his
Maybe
thing.
that was the nastiest thing she could think of in a moment.
Yeah, it's like Sukuna.
She wants to beat him down for his transgressions against her, but she still loves him.
That's very true.
I mean, pages ago, she just proclaimed how love trumps all things, including apparent sensory abilities. I'm not gonna lie. When she started talking about how the angels didn't notice Sukuna, I was ready to just kind of believe that maybe not all ancient sorcerers could notice each other, could sense each other. Like, because why would that be an automatic thing? Maybe only a few of them could do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to be clear, Angel is what, a sorcerer from the past, or?
Yeah, the angel is the one that, not the girl, but the angel is.
No, the actual, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, did she reincarnate around that time? Like for the Culling game?
That's what I can understand, is that she's one of the people that Kenjaku gave uh, a remnant of the angel to
Why would he do that?
fuck shit up. His whole thing is that, like, he's kind of
But the
counting.
angel hurts his plans.
Not necessarily. The whole
The
plan is
angel
to.
could free Gojo from the box.
Oh, I guess so. But it's still really hard to open the box. I guess he wasn't counting on it. I have no idea. Maybe it was just an oversight on Kenjaku's part.
Yeah, I guess he could be wrong sometimes.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty well. He's due for like maybe a mistake. Nobody's perfect and all that.
Well, you know what is perfect?
What?
Brian's thoughts.
Brian's thoughts
You want
are
my
perfect.
What are they?
Yeah, what are your thoughts, Brian?
I thought it was a little weird for them to be flirting in a brother and sister's body. That was a little weird.
It is weird. It's unfortunate, but
You know what's crazy about that, Brian?
What?
For probably for 6 out of every 10 people in America, apparently that's a preferred attraction.
wow, really?
Yeah,
6 out of 10.
a lot of step stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, it's very weird. I don't care for it.
Well, yeah, I guess they'd be stepbrother and stepsister because Sumiki is not a Zenin, from what I understand.
Oh,
But she's a Fushiguro.
Yes, she's a Fushiguro. So she is Megami's stepsister.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
What are you doing, step demon?
yeah. So
That's all my thoughts. When I saw that, I was like, oh, right.
That's it? That's your entire...
that's all my thoughts.
Well, to be fair, it is pretty one-sided. It is pretty one-sided, to be fair. And also, I guess they weren't really planning on being in the brother and sister body. Well, Sukuna was, but I'm sure he wasn't factoring Yorozu in his plans.
Yeah, it was strategic for Sukuna. Probably more likely than not a kink for Yorozu.
Yeah, she's one of the 4 out of 6. 6 out of 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah,
is that an arbitrary stat that I made up? Absolutely, but I think I'm on.
Oh, you made it up.
I think I'm right. I did make that up. But it sounds so accurate, doesn't it?
I mean, I believed you. I don't know if it was.
I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that you believed anything I said.
Damn, far be it for me to believe my friend. It really is. Man. It really is trust nobody out here.
At least not me.
At the very least, you shouldn't trust me. That is fair. That's my bad. Yeah, I don't have much thoughts about this chapter. I guess Yorozu's bug form looks kind of cool. Her curse technique kind of reminds me of Mai's, because Mai could do that too, but she did it on a much smaller scale, where at the time where she could only like manifest like bullets made out of cursed energy.
Right.
She herself became a sword.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of similar, but I think people could have similar curse techniques, so makes sense, I guess. And obviously Yorozu has like a ton more experience, so it's not a negative or a positive, really. It just reminded me of Mai's. But yeah, I didn't really have all that much to say. I find kind of Yorozu a little annoying so far. I agree, I guess. But I am excited to see them get it going and getting the battle started. Hopefully Sukuna is able to exert himself a little bit and, have an entertaining battle for the first time in the series. Him versus Jogo was kind of cool, but like have a battle that actually strains him would be pretty interesting, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. I don't have any more thoughts though. Do you guys have any rebuttals? Anything?
Nope.
No, but you know what? I will say this is my RGC for this
Hey,
week.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah. I actually have to take that back. I
You can't.
completely
You can't.
forgot.
You can't.
It's like,
It's too
man,
late.
it was
You
a
can't.
No, you
mistake.
can't.
We
You've
didn't
never
even move
taken
on to the
back
next.
RGCs.
I already dropped the fucking drop, dude.
Yeah, once the drop is dropped, you can't take it back.
Let's start a new precedent then.
What do you mean?
Let's make a rule. Let's make the rule. You could revoke it if you don't move on to the next chapter.
That's crazy.
I
You
made
gotta-
a mistake.
You gotta live with. You gotta live with it,
I
bro.
forgot that another series existed.
Well, you gotta learn from your mistakes, bro.
That's crazy. I'm gonna say it again anyway, just so y'all know.
Well, I'm not gonna drop it, so it's not official.
That's fine. You did the drop in advance for me. I appreciate it.
What? You said I did the drop in advance?
Yes.
I did not. I
From-
did it after you said it. As is
No,
protocol.
just way before I said it.
No, I did not.
Wait.
It's literally on the tape. And not say how would I know?
I'm confirming it now.
You think I'm just dropping shit? You think I'm just dropping the drops? For the fuck of it here? What kind of dog and pony show do you think I'm running?
Listen, you guys didn't even shout out our RGC yet. I'm wondering.
This is only
What
our
did it
second series. We've been going for a while on 2 series.
It better be the one I chose.
Well, it doesn't matter. It could be, it couldn't be.
I know what I'm writing down in my book.
But we have official record on this episode that your RGC is Jujutsu Kaisen this week, so
That's doctored.
everybody You said it's doctored?
Yeah.
You
so
said
there was
the
no
words.
RGC or audience for the One Piece.
What?
No RGC for One Piece, by the way.
I
No,
honestly
nothing?
forgot.
No, not this week for me.
That means that nobody. Okay. Wow. Yeah. No one gives a fuck about York, and apparently no one cares about Jujutsu Kaisen. Definitely not Josh Cole.
I don't know why you had to slander One Piece to get this point across.
Be right back.
You see what you do? You just leave a trail of destruction, Josh. You can't do that. Your RGC for this episode is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm.
Anyway, I guess we could move on then. Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw. This is Chainsaw Man chapter 123, Ors Devore. Last we left off, we had a bit of a talk between the Squid Boy and Famine, and Famine was like, "Hey, there's like a whole terrible demon guy that's coming down here, and he's one of a primal fear of humanity." And as we got that information, we saw that Asa was being surrounded by a monster that there was just people jumping off of their building, and they all molded into this woman. And I guess this chapter starts off with Yorozu running for her life, and the demon finally finishing up by twisting off someone's head and sticking it on top of her body. And she says, the demon comes to, and she's like, "Oh dear, I'm being quite indecent," after realizing that she's completely naked. And she puts on a full ass chef's uniform. And she goes, "I'll be your chef tonight." And she introduces herself as the Falling Devil. Not what I expected,
Same.
but makes sense.
I guess.
I guess that's a primal fear. Falling?
A falling? Yeah.
I would say so.
I've been scared of falling.
Yeah, you ever? I mean,
It
yeah.
definitely wasn't on the list of primal fears that I said last week.
No, not at all, Brian.
No,
you were
was
wrong.
Brian.
You were very wrong. You wanted to run around and celebrate your York victory, but you were wrong about this.
And you were also wrong about not streaming tomorrow.
Yeah.
8:30 p.m. Val.
So yeah, the falling devil is it starts talking about how I'm visiting at the request of the residents of hell. A word of warning: those who don't finish their food will taste death. I don't understand the connection between falling and food that's going on here, but
Because food falls down into your stomach. That's why you're not supposed to lay down after you eat.
I guess
That's a primal thing.
that is a primal thing.
I'm saying anything at this point.
What?
I'll just be honest. I'm saying anything at this point. So
Well, your anything it makes some kind of sense.
I'm trying.
So
This is all, as you say, conjecture.
I guess it technically counts as conjecture.
That's my second favorite C word.
What's your first
No.
favorite C word?
Contrivance.
Kevin.
What'd you say?
Kevin.
Did you say Kevin with a C?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? No one's named that.
No one's named
don't know
Kevin with
that.
a C?
No one.
Brian, look up to see if there's anybody named Kevin with a C.
No one. No one. There's not one person on this planet named Kevin with a C.
There is actually.
I
No!
knew it. I knew it. I knew there would be one.
Kevin Fisher is an American house music recording.
Oh my god, and
producer.
he's a somewhat famous person?
Yeah.
Kevin with a C. I gotta look it up. Kevin with
Kevin
a C.
Soling, American writer.
Kevin, what's his name?
There's Kevin Soling. There's Kevin
What?
Fisher.
Yeah, it's Kevin Fisher. They're all
Kevin
musicians.
Clark.
Kevin Key.
Is that how you pronounce their name? Kevin, or is it Seven?
It's Kevin.
Or Chevin?
Calling your child Seven?
Some
Seven.
weird things.
7.
The boy named Seven.
Chevin.
Oh, looks like I was right once again. I never miss.
Well, you did miss on the
You're
falling
like
devil.
2 for 2 in this one episode.
You're 2 for 1.
You're 500.
You're 2 and
Almost
1.
like the Mets.
He's 2 and 1. Let's not go crazy here.
2-1 is a pretty good odds for me.
Yeah. Wait, no, you're not 2. Oh well, you are 2 and 1. Yeah, you were right about Kevin, and you were right about you were right about York.
But he was wrong about something else.
He was wrong about the falling devil. You thought it
And
was like death or
else,
something.
man.
Anyway, back to this Chainsaw Man chapter. The fucking falling devil is about to start cooking, and she says like for the first course. For the first course, it would be my pleasure. Urs devor la route von la. And she claps her hands, and then we end up in a flashback where Asa is like hanging out and reading a book with a cat on her shoulder. Honestly, goals.
Mhm.
And this teacher or someone is coming up, and she starts talking about her cat. And he's like, "It's about your cat. Why don't we have my friend who likes cats take him? One of the other kids is allergic, so why we should that's unhealthy for you too. You depend on that cat's companionship instead of interacting with other people." And Asa just goes, "I don't wanna." And the teacher person, or I guess like this is an orphanage, but the teacher is like, or the orphanage lady is like, all the orphans here, devils killed their parents, and mine too. So, my mom was killed by the recent typhoon devil. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like they're all, they can still laugh and play because they became a family here. Your cat's the only cat here. Don't you think he'd be happier living at my friend's house with other cats? And Asa just goes, Crambon. She's like, Crambon? He's like, his name is Crambon. Make him happy. And she takes it. And then we cut over to a scene at night. Asa is sleeping, and this kid is basically like, Asa, where's your cat? And she's like, why? He's like, because when we went to play at the river, there was a cat like yours at the bottom. And that was fucked. Because the orphanage lady comes in and is like, hey, lights out, you two, go to sleep. And Asa goes, Crambon's okay, right? And the fucking orphanage lady is like, everyone here lost their family. You can't be the only one with a family member. Isn't that unfair? And then Asa just like wakes up as if it's a bad dream, and the world is upside down and everybody's falling. Or it looks like the world is upside down for her. But some people start floating upwards towards the sky, as I guess they're also upside down. And the fucking falling devil is like, the lower your heart sinks, the higher your body falls. That's the concept of this dish. May the flavors of your past traumas delight your taste buds. And one of the people who are falling upward flies into a door, which I guess leads to hell. Because I remember those doors being a thing. And the chapter ends somewhat abruptly, as Asa is just like hanging off the edge of the ground. It is like, and Yorozu is like, I can't enter your body, don't be afraid. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Chainsaw Man chapter 123?
This was another short and sweet chapter by Chainsaw Man. What the fuck can I say? I did not expect the devil to be the fallen devil. I didn't expect it to be that simple. It makes total sense. You know, now, because of course, like, nobody wants to fall. Even animals are scared to fall,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So, sure, I'll take that. But, man, like, the way I thought we was actually having a flash. I can't even tell if that's a real flashback or not.
I think it is.
I don't know if that actually happened.
I think it happened because I think the point of this particular attack thing is that the deeper you fall into your trauma, the more you fall in real life. So I guess she's giving people visions of their past trauma, and if they give into those traumas for a second, they start falling upward.
It's just that caretaker was so cartoonishly evil.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you just lie to her?
I don't know, Josh.
She's fine.
Honestly, I was genuinely angry at
Was
this.
she a devil?
No, she's just a person. She was just a bad human being.
That was the devil that was taking care of the angel girl.
What?
Remember that nasty one with all the faces?
From Jujutsu Kaisen?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I mean, she's acting like it. I'll tell you that much.
She passed away and turned into that devil.
Yeah, I mean, I buy it. What a fucking bastard. You don't kill cats, you fucker. But anyway, go on.
Yes, going on. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to bring it back up. Yeah, I like making connections between Chainsaw Man and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mm-hmm.
That they both share, like, you know, I guess devils and, well, they're not devils, but, you know, spirits created by negative emotions.
They are kind of similar in that regard, I think. They both have villains that are based off of certain fears and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know how they're gonna get out of this fucking situation.
Yeah.
TBH. I mean, because she's saying, "Yeah, I can't even go into your body."
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to say. Hopefully, maybe Denji's gonna come in and help.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, even if she could, like Yorozu ran away. Yorozu's like, I gotta get out of here.
because she couldn't make a strong enough weapon.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you, Brian? What do you think about this chapter?
Personally, I'm a little confused by the whole falling devil being a chef thing. I don't really understand the symbolism behind that, but hey, I mean, I'm here for it. The style is really cool. She looks like people are already raving about how she's designed and shit. So I think this is a really interesting boss battle. This is the first time I've like actually no, never mind. I have seen like a big boss while reading the series regularly. Actually, no. I didn't start reading the series regularly until this arc, until part 2.
Oh man, you
Is
need
that
to the
true?
Darkness Devil or the other one.
Yeah, you missed the bomb devil.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, this
Well,
is some.
I've read some of it, but this is my first time reading it while it's coming out. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested to see how this turns out. Chainsaw Man definitely has some really odd twists and turns that you never really expect when it comes to how people are written and how they act or react to things. So in the coming chapters, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's gonna happen here. You know?
Yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. I think like these devils are crazy, man. Just their abilities and how they just can just fuck over to the earth every now and then.
Go with the earth.
They're just they just have these fantastical abilities that is sometimes just geez, how do you live in this world? This world kind of sucks. Like to be a normal person in. Because these natural things are have sentience and come after you actively. You know, the concept of falling is a thing that hates you and wants you to die. So
It's the weird thing is that it's always been around, right? So why is it conjuring itself now?
I don't
Did
know.
it get killed? Did someone kill it in hell?
Yeah.
Or it became reborn?
Yeah, I would have to die in hell in order to come to Earth.
Interesting foreshadowing.
But it mentions that it was like sent here, like it's visiting on the request of the residents of hell. So it could be that they let themselves get killed in hell so they can spawn on Earth and cause problems. Because devils never really die. Unless they get eaten by chainsaw man. But otherwise, they don't really die. Anyway. Yeah, I agree. I do agree, though. I think, like, the Falling Devil, although, like, I feel too feeble-minded to understand the symbolism between falling and being a chef. I think the design is unique and cool, and it was definitely one of the more creepier entrances for a devil in this series. Um, honestly, it being the falling devil and having people falling off of their buildings just to spawn it. I mean, like, damn, I wish I could have seen it coming in theory. But wow, uh, what a cool twist, and I'm very excited to see what happens next week for Chainsaw Man. I don't have much else to say. Does anybody else have any rebuttals before we move onward?
Listen, it's impossible to get everything right, you know? Even someone like myself who can catch everything before it happens.
Well,
Sometimes.
2 out of 3 things.
The Fall Devil said, "Let me cook.
Yeah, let me.
She really did say, "Let me cook."
Allow me to begin cooking." Wow,
Yo,
let
who
me
let
whip
this-
up this nightmare for you. Remember
Who
this
let
shit in
this
the
devil
past?
cook, bro? Who let this devil cook? Yeah, I don't got much else to say.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, we should move on then. Chainsaw Man, fantastic as always. Excited for next week. Let's move on. World Trigger. This is World Trigger chapter 231, the away mission test, part 28. This has been a long ass arc. Okay, so a lot of this chapter is basically the battle simulation exercises going on. And over the course of the chapter, we actually see that Suba's squad that has, Katora and Katori and Osamu on it, and Oki, the sniper from Ikoma squad. They're actually doing pretty good now. They've racked up on a number of wins. Um, so leaving the other teams to just kind of like strategize. They're realizing that like, geez, they're doing really well now. Their teamwork is much more precise, and they really figured something out, huh? Um, in that case, they just continue to win. They win two in a row, and from then on, they win three in a row. It's going really well for them. This whole chapter. Um, and we do get various looks into the other squads and how they're responding to uh Suba's squad's sudden success. um and we do see that one of the team, Kurama squad, one of the significant things that happens in this chapter is that they start to kind of like rely on Koarai from Azuma squad to boost his evaluation in every way, so that they can keep to just walk away with a basic really good score from the judges. um and Yeah, we then cut over to the higher ups of border, basically reviewing the results for the battles that happened today. um they initially saw that there was going to be more draws on the day, but they actually got a lot more one-sided wins going forward this week, or on this day. And they were basically noting that Suicide Squad has basically gotten three in a row, uh, and they're doing a lot better. Uh, they're Shinoda starts talking about how like the squads that prepared an outlandish strategy for the final day are faring well against the ones that basically honed their more ordinary tactics. So the people who were more creative towards the end are actually pulling it out towards the end of the tests. Um, so it's going pretty well. Um, and basically they start talking about how they're going to hit them with another special assignment. And Kido is talking about Kido actually disagrees and says, hey, not today. I actually want them focusing on the battles at hand and no special assignment. So just keep them more focused. And Jin asks Kido if there's anybody he's keeping an eye on in today's matches. And Kido mentions that like they are seeing a lot of dramatic turnabouts versus yesterday, especially with Mizukami squad. And one that we know is struggling today is Ninomiya Squad 8. And we get a big panel of Chika specifically, who is on Ninomiya Squad. And it looks like she's struggling. She's on the struggle bus. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about World Trigger chapter 231?
She seems like Chica doesn't seem like the gamer type.
Yeah.
Maybe she's struggling with that. But anyway, there's something I thought about as far as Mikumo's team's new strategy, right? So when you look at the biggest change they made, aside from putting people in groups, it was the change they made with Mikumo's avatar, right? So they made him more defensive, so it's way harder to get a kill on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that, like, in this game, especially as the numbers increase and the gap that you need in order to win increases as well. The amount more like people you have compared to them. Like, I think at first it was like, I forget the number it was. I forget the number it is now, actually. to be honest. But point is, it's a numbers game, and I think it's much more rewarding to be defensive in that case. You know, you don't want to like you losing players makes it harder for you and literally help and benefits the other team.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just such a clutch idea. And if they don't have to worry about playing from behind, they're allowed to be freer in their approach. So it's like it kind of goes hand in hand. They're allowed to create these offensive strategies because of that defensive fix. And it kind of, I don't know, it kind of makes me think about like sports a little bit. Like specifically football, you see teams have to play differently depending on whether they have the lead or not. You know, like if you have the lead, if you're protecting the lead, you're gonna want to run the ball. You want to risk turning the ball over because you don't want to just hand over a possession. You want to eat at the clock. Whereas the other team that is playing with they had to catch up. They want to get the ball down the field as much as possible.
You've never played Madden.
Time.
You've clearly never played Madden.
Oh well,
you take shots every time.
You always throw them.
You go fourth. You go fourth. You go on fourth, and you throw the ball no matter what.
Madden's a different animal. But no, point is, it's like the strategy is really helping them out because they don't have to concern themselves with losing like Makumo for no reason. They had to put him on the party. They couldn't do anything about it, you know? So he was a sitting duck, and now he's at least someone that they had to commit a little bit more to actually beat. Again, which just makes everything else that much easier for them. I like this series, man. Small little fixes like that. That was honestly the biggest thought I had. This is kind of like a real simple chapter. Just shame we didn't get a second one, but I'll take it.
Yeah. Brian, what did you think?
This chapter convinced me that this is the worst World Trigger arc to be reading, like on release per chapter.
Yeah,
because there's so much you have to fucking remember with this series. You have to remember every fucking face. You gotta remember every fucking character and what they mean to the fucking story. And on top of that, it's just a very like slow, like kind of weird kind of arc. I don't know. I do not like this arc very much. The longer that it goes on, the less I'm like interested. Just because there's not much really going on if you really think about it. There's not a lot going on in this. Like I'm sure I'm gonna fucking be kicking myself in the future when this comes back into the series and it's relevant. But for now, I don't think that this arc is relevant at all to what's.
I do predict that that'll be the case.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But as for now, like as this is going on, I am so bored of this arc. Like it is so boring to me. I'm already sick of it. Like I just want to move on from this whole simulation. I don't care about it very much.
Oh, and actually, two serious questions after you finish your thoughts. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and like it's like, come on, man. Like I enjoy World Trigger when it's at its best, when it's like, you know, people out there kind of doing their thing instead of like sitting inside of a room for like 50 chapters playing a fucking game that probably isn't going to affect anything. But I don't know. I'm just so bored of this arc. I'm ready for it to move on already. Your questions?
Oh, yes, thank you. So, do you have TikTok on your phone?
No.
I do.
Did that ruin your entire...
You could pretend you're asking me.
It's okay. Because Brian does have Instagram.
For having like a short attention span.
He does have Instagram. Yes.
I don't even
know it already.
On Instagram.
You know it, Brian.
I only have Instagram because you guys only chat on Instagram.
You know it, and that's why you like My Hero Academia. Because they give you microwave stories and plots and characters. Microwave. Big Shadow Man? Microwave.
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 And what's this? Watching
Deku's abilities? Microwave.
I'd rather have a microwave than a fucking watching a blank wall.
That's not true. That's just simply objectively untrue.
It's just so boring, bro. I'm so bored
You
reading
know what's
these
boring?
chapters. I'm sure if I read this arc from start to finish in one go, I would enjoy it. But reading it per release, it's just so fucking boring. I swear. There's so much that I have to remember, and I can't be bothered to always go back every time and refresh my memory whenever a World Trigger chapter comes out. Like, I don't know. It's just it's such a task right now. Like they're doing tasks and I'm doing tasks by reading these chapters. Like I'm ready to move on just because I want series to kind of spread out a bit. World Trigger's best thing was the world building, and now it feels like everything just paused for a stupid little game, you know?
I don't think the best thing is the world building, personally.
The world building,
But you know,
the
Brian,
entire
you are
series
entitled.
is based off world building, though.
You're only saying that because world is in the title.
No, I'm not. I'm saying that because
You sure?
yeah, I'm saying
you
that
say that
because
without
there's
a shadow of doubt?
500 fucking characters in this series. You're gonna tell me that that's not world building?
That's not world building.
That is world building, Josh.
Is that world building?
When you go outside of your main cast and you expand on all of these characters with all their personality, that's world building, believe it or not.
Well, you can't world build in a microwave. They're pretty small.
Yeah, they're in a microwave. That's why you can't world build in there. Get them out of the fucking microwave and let them actually do shit in the world that you built so fucking like expertly.
We're learning a lot about these characters and what they struggle with.
Yeah, but in a way that it's not even interesting to me. Like I'm not gonna be thinking about this moment when if Kodera happens to fucking make it through. I'm not gonna be thinking about, oh shit, man, he's really changed a lot since he was playing that video game. Like, I don't care about, I'm not going to care about this moment in the long run. I think they just need to introduce them back into the fucking world somehow. Like, just get them out of this fucking
Into
game.
the Trigger world?
Maybe if they do a loop.
It would have been cooler if they uploaded themselves, their Tryon into the fucking thing, like they're like as personas of themselves doing fights and simulations and shit. But this is just such a like, it's like an unnecessary like disconnection from the characters. Like, I like watching video game content. I'm not gonna sit down and watch a fucking video game, a fucking manga character play a video game in a very uninteresting way. It's just not it.
So let me make a deal with you.
Uh-huh.
Would you be willing to accept My Hero Academia rebooting, if World Trigger reboots, with the promise, with them swearing to God that they would never do this again?
Why do they have to loop? Why do they both have to loop?
I will say this though, if this
because
was
that's
a
the
weekly,
flavor of this
if this
week.
was a weekly arc, this arc would be a little more bearable, I'd say. But because of like I know it's out of control, but with the inconsistent like releases and the spread out chapter releases, it hurts this arc a lot for like a casual reader. Like, because you and Josh, like Chris and Josh, they're very into the series. They're very experienced in reading manga and stuff like that, and I am too, for the most part. But I'm a little more casual than you guys when it comes to this stuff. So when I'm reading this in the way that it's released, it's just really tough for me to manage, like to keep in my radar, you know?
If Lore Piece said he really liked his arc, would you
Lore Piece?
Who's Lore Piece?
Actually, I said Lore Piece, as in Law from One Piece and Piece together. But there's actually who I'm talking about is actually Grand. I don't know why my brain works this way, but it does. I'm talking about Grand Line Review.
Oh,
if he said that, you know what, Brian, I really like this arc. Would you then say? What if he said, I think it's perfectly paced?
Well, it isn't. I don't get my opinions from online.
I do.
Online, it reinforces my opinions, but I don't make my opinions from it.
That's respectable.
Mm.
And I think your brother respects that a lot too.
I do.
I'd rather be honest with my opinion on what's going on with World Trigger, because I feel like sometimes we end up ignoring the downsides of this series because we love it so
I'm
much.
pure propaganda. Absolutely.
Yeah, like you guys could be a little blinded by the light.
Well, there is an agenda here at hand, and it is to push this series as the best.
I love it. I love it a lot too, but this arc just ain't it. Like,
You know
guys
what
have
I'm
to admit,
confused
there's
about,
some
though?
parts of this arc that is kind of weak compared to most others.
You know what's like kind of baffling me right now is that I thought we was all on the same page. It's a shame we had to expose these things
I
live on the
exposed it. I said
podcast
it
for our
myself.
listeners.
What do you
However,
mean, me?
here we
I'm
are.
the one who
Here
brought
we
it
are.
up. You didn't expose
Here we are.
anything.
So you know what, Brian? No, you exposed us.
Well,
You guys? No. You guys have a different opinion, and that's fine.
Christian's gonna reprimand you after this podcast.
I'm not gonna reprimand anybody. I guess I could get in my thoughts then. If that's
He's
my
terminating the contract.
No. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like World Trigger is kind of a victim of circumstance because technically this arc is only.
Yeah, I think it's some victims of circumstances. I love this shit.
I don't know. Can I
And
finish?
I love that it took 2.5 months to get it.
Can I finish?
I'm hurt.
This chapter. Look, this arc is 28 chapters long, which is not bad, to be honest. It just feels that way because of just the release schedule, which is a bummer. But 28 weeks in terms of manga arcs, it's not so bad. I will say though, I do see where Brian's coming from a little bit, because I do like everything that's happening here, and I do like all of the character development we're getting. For sure. I think the various problem solving that the characters have had to do is what makes World Trigger a very unique series and very interesting. But I do understand where Brian's coming from. It does feel like it drags at some points, especially since like the video game is like it's kind of, I don't understand it all that much, and it's also like it is them sitting down and playing video games. I like this arc for the core character type stuff that's happening in it, but I do agree to some degree that it may have been drawn out a little much at this point. But there is the promise of an actual battle sim waiting for us at the end of all this. And
which, Jesus Christ, please come faster.
Ooh, all of that. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Please let that be next chapter, for the love of
Holy
God.
shit.
I think we're close to the last day of this section of
I think we're close to the threshold
yeah, we're almost there.
of Josh bugging the fuck out.
As per usual, I'm kind of in the middle of you guys. I don't hate this arc at all. I actually really like it a lot.
Bless your unbiased heart, Chris, but god damn it, am I ever saying
Listen, I sat down for years while you shit on My Hero Academia, but
Yeah.
I shit on.
Whose fault is that, though?
Well, it's World Trigger's fault now. If it were good chapters, I
Trigger's
wouldn't
not
be
a person.
complaining, now would I?
All right, and he's trying as hard as he can. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Did what's this guy's name from My Hero Academia?
Horikoshi.
Thank you. Did Horikoshi's spine break? No. No. He didn't. Did he catch leukemia?
I don't think that's what happened to anybody.
This is a fucked up
I'm
thing to
just
bring
saying,
up.
I'm just saying.
When I'm only talking about a chapter. This has nothing to do with the mangaka. I respect him and I love the series. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend to enjoy something.
You're taking the shit, bro. You're taking this shit on his work.
No, I'm not. I'm being critiqued. I'm having some critique for once for the series.
No, what you're doing is wiping it now. You're cleaning it up after the fact. But the shit, you still took the shit, bro.
Listen, I didn't take the shit.
Well, who did then?
This chapter when it came out of the
Damn, you kind of opened yourself up to that one, Josh.
I know.
You were asking for that
I
one.
fucking alley-ooped that shit.
That was really good.
I'm leading him in. I'm reeling him in.
Mm.
No, in all seriousness, I'd be lying if I didn't feel like that sometimes. First of all, it is a little. It's just hard, like that. The series doesn't come out weekly in general, but even then, I've struggled. I'm trying to figure out that if there's gonna be, if this is more supposed to be about a message about the growth of the characters themselves, or is there supposed to be an element to this this game, this fighting game that's going to be so crucial to fighting later. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure if that's the case because it doesn't seem like it almost a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to say is, as far as a character like Makumo goes, I don't know if he's going to take something from this simulation and apply it to himself. He's not going to pick up 2 shields, but maybe he'll prioritize playing a certain way. I would just hate if that wasn't the case. If after all is said and done, the kind of core characters we know of and know where their weaknesses lie, they don't improve in those areas or add something to their overall fighting abilities. I want to see this translate to combat. And I want it to be an effective translation to combat too, not something metaphorical. So I know that's not exactly how you feel, Brian, but that is.
I'm sure that's one of the feelings if I were more eloquent with my thoughts.
No, don't make me blush now. I don't think that was too eloquent, but I definitely think it's. I'm being patient. You're absolutely right, and I'm sure Chris. He can be as unbiased as he wants, but he's as patient as I.
I am.
We're gonna wait and see.
I'm feeling it a lot less than Brian is in that sense. Like I'm not like itching for this to be over necessarily, but I do understand the sentiment. I do think that it's whatever effect this has is going to be more metaphorical than it is physical. I think if there's any physical effect, it is just like, you trap people in a room that have never really worked together before and force them to work together in this very brainy type of way. It's about, I guess, being flexible, especially because the away mission entails working with different squads. Up to this point, like, we've only seen squad members, like different squads go up against each other. So the whole point of this was to I guess mix people up and put them in a similar situation as they would be if they were actually on the ship. Because any of these characters could join in any combination. It's not all these characters that are going to the away mission, but some of them very well might, or a decent amount of them very well might. I can see Suwa going on the away mission somehow because he's shown himself to be a pretty capable leader in a sense, and I feel like that was the build up for him.
Yeah.
But I see what this test is supposed to do. I think like is one of those situations where 2 things can be true, where this whole little arc and the battle sims have their significance, but it's been going for a minute, and especially with the release schedule, you feel it a little bit more. But you got to write the story that you want to write. So I don't dock points off of that just because this is what Ashihara would have done if this was weekly.
Yeah, for sure.
If it was weekly, this would be a much improved.
Well, we'd be way beyond this.
And that I really understand. I really do understand that.
One thing I will say though is when it comes to like the concept for this arc, you guys remember, I was really fucking excited going into this one, you know? It just feels like he fell flat on the execution for it. Like due to probably being a victim of circumstance. You know, I'm sure once I read this chapter, like I said before, once I read this chapter all in this arc all in one go, I will enjoy it a lot more because you know you can contain you have more information, you'll be able to retain, you know, and I feel like it would just flow way better. Um, it's like 20, it's like was it 30 something chapters of
It's
this arc so
28.
far? 28, and it feels like much longer because of that drawn out time. So I think once this whole thing's out in entirety and then I read it over again, it'll flow a lot better and it will feel like a much better arc. But it's just a really unfortunate time to be reading it as it's released, you know? Just because
Yeah.
a lot of things probably end up getting lost in the wayside and things feel a lot more drawn out. I don't think this arc is very bad, but it's just as I'm reading it, it's not the best experience.
I don't relate.
Yeah. Well, you know, agree to disagree. It's not that serious, to be honest. It's still a good series, and it is still doing good things, you know, just to varying degrees of success.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have any more thoughts about this chapter, really. I thought it was solid. I can't wait to see what happens in 2 weeks because that's when the next chapter actually comes out. So, excitement for that. You guys ready to move on? Any rebuttals?
Nah.
All right, let's go. Black Clover. This is Black Clover, chapter 354, Judgment Day. Last we left off with Black Clover, there was a big battle between the paladins and the five-headed dragon that attacked the Land of Sun. Asta and the other Ryuzen 7 took care of that, and Asta was going into another training period with the Ryuzen 7 so he could improve his Zetten techniques and go back and defend the Clover Kingdom. In the meantime, we open this chapter with Lucius pulling up with his buddies, with his paladins, making his way to the Clover Kingdom. We see pretty much the entirety of the Clover Kingdom gearing up. Every character, every side character on the good side of things has grouped together to face this new and imposing threat, and the final threat of the series, really. And we see that Charlotte actually goes up to Yami and apologizes for avoiding him lately. And she goes like, in this battle, I'll fight and carry out my mission without letting personal feelings get in the way. That's all I wanted to say. And Yami's like, all right. Nobody worried about that. Battlefield comrade prickly queen, he calls her.
That was crazy.
Yami basically is like, once the fight is over, why don't we get oh right, you can't hold your liquor. Well, then come get tea with me. There's something I want to talk about. And I wonder what that is. Meanwhile, Jack the Ripper is like, come on, I want to fight.
Come
on. And he gets his wish because Lucius teleports right up behind him. And who else is behind him but Noct? But, you know, if someone's just chilling behind Julius and smiling, it doesn't bode well. And we immediately get a page where Jack gets fully impaled because Noct has now become a paladin. And we also see that Morris is there, the genius scientist magician guy. He's got these weird hand tentacles. It's very fitting for his weirdness.
Creepy.
Yeah, it's not great. Morris has pulled up to Maria Leona and Fuego Leon. And we see the Noels going up against their mom, who is now a paladin. And I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
They resurrected
that
her
was
mom.
fucking insane.
Yeah. And the chapter ends in a 2-page spread where basically there's a ton of paladins coming down from the sky and flying around. This 2-page spread is fucking crazy. And the chapter ends with Julius declaring that they're going to bring happiness to the world. Short chapter, but lots of cool shit happened in it. Josh, what did you think about Black Clover chapter 354?
This was my RGC.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Well, that's a coincidence because this was mine as well.
Hmm.
But it doesn't count for you because your RGC was
Oh
actually
my god!
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Come
You
on.
thought we would forget, huh? You really thought.
You shouldn't lie to them.
I'm not writing it down.
You should. You are the keeper of
You
records.
You must write it down.
Sure.
Well, this is my really good chapter of the week.
Certified
And mine alone?
RGC. Certified RGC.
Come on, Brian.
Certified
I'll give this my RGC.
Brian, you're just gonna casually give your RGC to Black Clover?
Yeah, I'll just casually. In spirit of Josh.
You read Black Clover?
Yeah, I read it every week.
Yeah, he caught up. Remember?
Yeah.
What I don't read is Undead Unluck.
Soon. Josh, continue your thoughts on this not your RGC chapter.
Man, whatever. Man, I was really shocked. I knew he was reviving people, but I thought he only had like a handful of people that he was just going to do most of the effort himself. But then they got a whole army of post-expired people. And they're all like with the same personality, and they're so happy. They're like, guys, it's all right. First of all, I'm so happy to see you. Second of all, just submit and die so we can all be reborn together. I love you guys. That's what I imagine the mom is going to tell them. Well, she's like, who would have thought I'd get to fight you like this? It's Felucius, guys. Come on, you get it.
Yeah.
Missed y'all. That was class.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Nozel?
Know that.
Are you still mad that I named you that?
Still
After
got
a
your
nozzle?
after a nozzle. that was foul. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, she didn't have to do that to him.
Still got your cool front ponytail.
Yeah, he's gonna land the finishing blow
Yeah.
for sure.
No, Noelle is. Noelle, she is the more important character.
Yeah, but I think he really feels some kind of way over that.
Yeah. No, yeah, he doesn't feel good about it. That's for sure.
But no, she looks fucking epic.
Yeah.
She looks like God's paladin knight, like Christian Judeo God.
Yeah.
His knight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a short chapter, but it was impactful. I couldn't believe that Jack died just like that. He's dead.
He is dead.
He's dead.
I don't see how you walk away from
He
this,
died.
but
He died. And that was crazy that they brought him back too. Because it's hard to articulate, but you realize things at your own pace as you read chapters. Sometimes you'll see a panel before you're supposed to, so you'll already start forming a thought. But I feel like in this chapter, it was like they wanted. I feel like I realized who it was the moment they wanted me to.
oh,
Like, because I did think like that is not. I completely forgot about his brother until it happened, and I was like, when he put a hole through him, and I was like,
Oh
wait.
shit! Wait, this was his brother.
Exactly.
What?
yeah.
Yes, you see
Wait
how I
a
was
second.
explaining it, and I was like, wait. Knott's not dead.
Wait, that didn't till now.
That just happened in real time. That shit just happened in real time. Chris.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. You know what? I feel so dumb because I read this chapter like twice, and then because you know what it is too is that they switch names.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
sometimes I get confused as to who's Morgan and who's knocked, but yo, yeah, that was Morgan, all right.
Oh yeah.
Holy
And I ain't
fuck.
gonna lie, I was like, oh, the fucking stakes.
Yeah,
The emotional impact.
That is fucking
Oh,
crazy. I did
yeah. We
not
go.
think about it until just now.
yeah, I needed to. Hey,
And he was strong.
yeah, he was strong as shit.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Wow.
They had light magic. Who else had light magic? Only Julius, right? Aside from him?
I think so. I think he's the only
No,
one.
Julius had time magic. Who has light magic?
Petra?
The elf?
Yeah, the elf, right? The elf had one. Had light magic.
Which is ironic. That like the evil person would have light. Anyway, yeah, that's so cool.
Damn, Josh, you are sharp for that. I missed that.
Yeah, I missed it too, man.
Well,
I completely
guys,
missed that.
in all fairness, he literally says it right.
I
You
know.
said his name, and I didn't even register that though.
That's what I was saying. I didn't
feel like
register.
that's
I
easy to
wish I
miss.
could be like, yeah, I figured that out. But all right.
But you
only
actually,
did
all you did
that-
was read.
Yeah, that's all that happened. The power of reading. Nah, but yo, do I see? All right, the way I read it to y'all, it happened for y'all the same way it did to me. I was like, yo. Man, this earned it. This earned the RGC this week from all of us, from all three of
No,
us.
just for me and Brian.
Can I
but...
have that? Oh, come on, man. Come on. Y'all some petty, vengeful motherfuckers, all right?
Vengeful? For what?
Yeah.
What am I vengeful with you?
I don't know. You tell me.
You gave the RGC to your favorite chapter. That was clearly Jujutsu Kaisen.
Fucked up. It was by accident. It was like reflex.
I
'Cause I
know.
forgot. My thoughts were I really don't have a RGC this week, but why not? It's because I was forgetting what really was. So I just said, fuck it. I guess I'll give it to Jujutsu because the other ones that I could remember weren't that great. Well, I mean, weren't as good in my opinion. Whatever. I'm not going to explain myself anymore. It is what it is.
Well, it's always next week.
Brian, what are your thoughts on this chapter?
Listen, my mind is still blown.
You're still stunned?
I'm still stunned about that. That alone made this the actual RGC when I fucking now with that context. I think that's a pretty fucking sick twist right there. It would definitely catch them all off guard. So this is like a perfect strategy. And I really love that they set this up, you know? That they set up a moment like this to happen. And it's really great to keep having Yami in the fold, you know? Because in a lot of ways, he's like the third protagonist to this series. It's
Shimon.
it's it's Asta, and it's Yami. Those are the three main characters, I'm pretty sure. Given how much they bring him into the fold and have him connect to almost the most important parts of the series, you know? His impact in this series, I feel like, everybody loves Yami, but I feel like his impact could be kind of underlooked sometimes. You forget just how important he is to this world. And I'm really excited to see what they do with him in this fight against one of his closest friends, you know?
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have said it all. I will add on to the art is just awesome. I mean, every chapter it feels like he's just getting better at his craft here. All the paladins
Agreed.
have really cool fucking designs. I really like all of them. And one thing that I've always admired Tabata for doing is the way he does his shadows are really crazy. Just because they must be so time consuming because he does hatch marks. He does like hatching for his shadows.
Is that those lines?
Yes. That's just like
You
these
talking about under Julius's eyes right now, right?
under
Like
Julius's
that
eyes.
panel?
Under Julius's
that
eyes.
looks
We see him with, knocked when he gets like one-shotted, that one like vertical panel of him, those lines on his face, the lines on Yami. Those are all shadow hatches that are really must be hard to do. I mean, like, or time consuming to do, because these are just like these little lines, and they all look so straight. He's really good at this shit. But yeah, they give just like an extra dimension of like it feels kind of, it pops out more because of the shadows that his like shadowing technique. It's really good. But all the paladins look sick. The 2-page spread is fucking gorgeous. I'm excited for Black Clover. I'm very excited for what comes next. But that's all I got to say about it right now. Any rebuttals before we move on?
Nope.
all 3 RGCs. That's
All
nice.
2 of us, unfortunately.
But not the audience.
I mean, it could have been a unified, really good chapter of the week, but someone's playing.
It's okay, Josh. You just didn't like Black Clover.
It's
is what
okay.
it is.
Yeah, that's fine.
You just didn't like Black Clover as much as Jujutsu Kaisen, man. It's all right.
My soul is burning on the inside.
Listen, there were a few times when I RGC'd too early and I had to live with it,
I don't remember those times.
It's happened to Brian.
I do. I remember
My
because
soul
I
is
felt the same
extinguished.
pain as you. The only person who hasn't yet is Christian.
So far.
Because he's perfect.
Because he's the unbiased king. He knows where he stands at all times.
Never forget
He
it.
stands with God in unbiasedness.
All right. Let's move onward.
He stands with God
Yeah.
atop his throne, deciding who's RGCs and who doesn't.
Yes.
I have the most objective RGCs in the land.
I am but a mere lowly citizen.
Fools.
I breathe air and shit.
You breathe air and shit.
Yes, and you with your God is almighty.
That is so fucking funny.
All right, boys. It's okay. There's always next week, Josh.
That sounded a little threatening, to be honest.
Well, it wasn't meant to be. All right, let's do it. Undead Unluck. This is Undead Unluck, chapter 151, Horizon. Josh, did you want to do this one, or should I?
I can take this.
Do it.
We'll take it. Give me a second to download this. But we got Undead Unluck, chapter 151 by Yoshifumi Tozuka.
Yeah.
Is the title? Oh, Horizon.
Oh,
There we
Horizon.
go.
Yeah.
Last week, the crew absorbed Creed into the association
Yeah.
of negators. And they found this. That's pretty much what happened. Teller was able to somehow communicate with Billy because Teller is a genius and Billy is blind, which also makes him God. So,
Yeah,
in Japanese folklore.
In every folklore, Daredevil,
Yes. Is that not based on the Japanese?
No.
No?
No.
No?
No.
Maybe the author went to Japan and then said Daredevil. And
He
they
just went there and said Daredevil?
Yeah, he seen the culture and said, yeah, Daredevil.
So that's the genesis of Daredevil?
I think so.
Makes
I can't
sense.
say for certain.
Sounds-
Well, anyway.
Sounds legit.
They should do Blind Billy versus Matt Murdock.
It would be pretty similar.
Yeah. I had to specify Blind Billy because I truly can't say for sure if he was blind
I
before or not.
Yeah,
and I won't go back to check it.
I agree. Me and Josh, 3 weeks going, still have no idea if Billy was blind in the previous loop. And we've actively not looked back.
It makes it better that way. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm thinking it's the better business decision for the podcast.
to be honest. Hey, I mean, if you guys want to email us or comment under the videos, whether you think Billy is blind or
yeah,
whether
on
you know,
YouTube
let us know.
at New Jump City
Yeah,
podcast on YouTube.
exactly. Do that. And
Yeah,
then
we're there.
Maybe we'll get the picture after. But proceed, Josh.
Yeah. So we start this chapter with, I guess, like a brief little recap of some of the moments where Billy decided to shoulder the burden of everything, really, of defeating God, of having all the negating abilities, and to Tatiana's fears and worries and confidence and all of that. He always was the one that was comfortable with being the bad guy, I guess, so to speak, or just go or be the one to tank the hardships. You get the trope.
Yeah.
So we're just being reminded of that with Billy, which I actually thought was a little sweet. Anyway, so we get back. Foucault is like, that we got this fucking. It is a UFO, by the way, guys.
Mhm.
That was something we was also all right about. I
Yeah.
didn't mention that last week, but yeah. Foucault's like, all right, we got this. Plans moving along. I just got to go see about something on the roof. BRB. So she's going up in the coolest elevator I've ever seen in my life.
That's a pretty
And
cool
that's
elevator. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not the coolest, but it's. I like it a lot. I liked it.
It's solid. It's a top 3 elevator.
Yeah, I don't want to throw around hyperbole or nothing. I liked it. It was a cool elevator.
When you're afraid of people coming back and being like, Josh is bugging. That was not the best elevator.
Yeah. I worry about those things.
Yeah, the elevator community is pretty intense, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty. Yeah, well, you learn things. You learn things as you grow. But anyway, so Foucault knows that she's about to go talk with Billy and try to let him try how she's gonna figure going about making him join the association. When she gets up there, Billy is screaming for his life for Teller to save him, and that he's floating, and no one ever told me disc flies. I guess they don't know about the concept of UFOs and stuff.
Yeah.
And Foucault is just with a smile on her face, like, "Oh, it's been 200 years. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Billy." And Billy has, he has no fucking clue who this girl is. So I don't know how, but he steals himself, stands up, and lights a cigarette. Does all of this blind, mind you. I just wanted to be
He
clear
is
about
still
that.
blind, indeed. He
This
has
was
not
all
gained.
done blind.
Yeah, he has not gained sight since he got up.
Right, yeah. He's very surprised. He says, "I was curious if you people were worthy of owning this weapon, so I came to see for myself." All right. And he's like, what are you going to use it for? And I might take it from you from your reasoning. And Foucault's like, listen, this is our disc. We took this shit. So you better tell me what the fuck your plan is before I yeet you off of this celestial starship. So he's like, all right, my plan is to get the strongest weapon so that everybody has to fear us like Independence Day.
Yeah.
Oh, what a naive little boy.
Yeah.
Well, if only he knew that it's not about groups of people hating each other. Anyway, we'll get into that later. He basically shares the same rhetoric, and Foucault says "Oh, that is so like you. Like that's how you was in the previous loop." He doesn't know what a loop is, but we all do. And and that's how it was
He's
with
like, the fuck?
Tatiana. Again,
A loop.
he doesn't know who Tatiana is.
No. Not even the slightest inkling. She's not even there still.
Not yet.
I don't think she's even born at this point.
He's at this point in the conversation, as he listens to her, he's probably thinking like, "Wow, she probably heard I was handicapped and assumed I was retarded and not."
Wrong kind of handicap.
She probably thought I was autistic or something. But then she stopped. But the funny thing is, he's like, "What are you talking about?" She's like, continuing to say how he like really helped this girl and how she got over a lot of her fears and it made her a better and stronger person, and that he ended up betraying the union. Again, he doesn't know what the union is,
Yeah.
but we all know. Okay, and you left that girl behind. And it was fine with you. You was cool with that shit. As long as you could become strong enough to create a world that she could live in. You became hated in order to achieve your goal. And he's like, well, that psychobabble bullshit you were speaking earlier don't make no sense to me, but I do agree with that guy in your story. Only the strong should have to fight. I would say no one should fight. Unless you absolutely have to. Anyway.
Yeah, I guess that's what she's saying too.
Right. And Fuko, and man, I really like this series. She's like, and I have gotten stronger over the past 200 years. Billy, I'm big homie now. I'm big sis.
Yeah.
I take care of shit. I set things up. I set plans in motion. I call the shots.
Yeah.
I'm big boss man. Right? And the whole while, I've wrapped my brain on how to dissuade you from protecting Tatiana and me and convince you to stand side by side with us to believe in us. And she says, so the answer was simple. We're going to beat the shit out of you until you submit and realize that we're all stronger than you and that you are in your blind asses and your blind, potentially autistic asses in no position to defend anybody. All right? Mm-hmm. Roger that. Boom. Unavoidable hits him in the face with a big metal punch that should have killed him.
Rocket punch incoming.
There's a little bit of an oversight there.
Yeah.
He put a rocket in his face. No, his face broke. He broke something on his fucking face, man.
Yeah. No, wait. No, that was his.
What was that?
No, that's his fist breaking on Billy's face.
Why?
Because Billy's so strong, dude.
No way. What?
No way? No, it's because Billy shot his hand a bunch of times and broke it on the way there.
Oh, okay. That's actually pretty lit.
You were about to get upset. I
was like,
I already heard it coming.
That's why he says, "Whoa, that's something." Like that was pretty cool. He tries to pull his gun out again, and of course, Undraw is like, stops him from doing that and whacks him with her with her sheathed sword. And hits his hand, and then Unseen tries to come in and be the superstar and be the shot caller. And Billy senses him because he's superhuman and elbows him in the face. So he took a titanium punch to the face. He sensed Unseen's aura and I guess used the color of armament hockey to not get slashed. Billy is, blind people really are OP. So Fuko jumps into the sky with a smile on her face. And Billy looks up and smiles at her too. Because again, he sensed her.
Yes.
With his godly abilities. And I guess he's happy that he's about to get shot by her. It's not really clear. I don't know if you guys have rebuttals to that. But as this is about to happen, someone sprints past the science guy. I forget his name already. Nico, yeah. And Telly puts his hand out in the way to stop the bullet and he somehow uses untell negation to negate the bullet to not. He stopped the bullet from coming to from hitting Billy because he didn't want to tell Billy that the bullets. I don't get it. Can you explain that?
He said he expanded his interpretation of untell.
How?
That's crazy. I don't know what that means.
Everything else has had an explanation. What the fuck are they talking about here?
Untell.
Was the bullet gonna tell Billy that he was dead?
I can't.
So or maybe if he gets shot in the hand, he's telling Billy, "I got shot in my hand." But if he stops the bullet, he's telling Billy he stopped the bullet. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. I don't know what that means.
Yoshifuma, help me!
Help me!
Yoshifuma! I don't understand.
I also don't
Is this
understand.
the Japanese? Is this what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Folklore or something?
I don't think it's
It's
folklore.
like an old time saying.
I don't think so.
Proverb, maybe?
I don't think so. No.
It's got to be a Japanese proverb.
Nope.
Does anybody know anybody Japanese?
No.
No, unfortunately.
That's really unfortunate. Neither do I. We need to get out there more. And by out there, I mean to Japanese places. We're going to get banned, but it's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. It is fine.
It's fine.
So that's not the end of the chapter. Sorry, guys. Although I was treating it like it was. So yeah, Telly stops the fucking bullet by expanding his untell negator ability. We tried our best to make sense of it, and we failed. So please help us out in the comments. Again, on YouTube, New Jump City Podcast. Leave a like and a follow. Yeah. So, Telly's in his mind thinking, I'll do it all to protect Mr. Billy. And I guess they all understand that. Billy's looking at Telly in front of him because I guess he can hear that he's in front of him. Fine. And Fuku's like, oh, look, I'm the same as Mr. Telly here. I want to be of help to you. I'm strong. You don't have to be strong. Just join us, all right?
Yeah.
She drops a line about how, she says that you shouldn't try to bear it all out on your own. That in itself would be unfair. I don't know if he has his unfair negation ability yet at this point. That hasn't been made clear.
I don't think he does.
Right. Maybe he will later on.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe him realizing that something was unfair just activated it. I don't know. I guess I have faith that Suzuka is going to clarify that later on.
Yeah.
She's like, join us in our fight. He's like, Billy's like, this has a nostalgia ring to it. Oh, right. So then, okay. So Billy's like, look. I can't just join y'all because I feel bad about all the people that have sacrificed in the past. Just for me to join your, path and your objectives. I have my own plans and objectives. I can't just give that up just like this, just because what you're saying makes 1,000% sense. So we're gonna play a little game. You need to force me by having an old Western shootout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Billy's like, look, I'm gonna aim. I have to shoot through your right ear, and all you gotta do is just hit me anywhere. Right? And of course you can shoot to kill, which of course Fuko would never, but he goes like, man, stop this, Fuko. This ain't even fair. Like, this is what he's good at doing. And Fuko's like, young man, I've been doing this for 218 years. You know nothing.
You know nothing, Nico.
Oh, yeah. So Billy's like, if I win, I get the disc, and she's like, if I win, then I get you and Mr. Teller. Billy has the exclamation point. Oh, and Teller? Okay, okay, dude. Like I didn't know he was included, but I guess I'll let him know.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, bro,
By the way,
if I lose, she owns you too. All right?
yeah, I made the decision for you.
Yeah. Communicate with me if you disagree.
Oh, he can't
Okay.
say
Okay.
anything in any way if you think.
Or gesture in any kind of way. All right. Yeah, we're good. Let's go, Foucault. Yeah, and that was the end of the chapter. Let's fight fair and square. I like this chapter a lot. What was your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I also liked it a lot. Man, yeah, this series has a lot of heart.
Mad heart.
So much heart.
Like Josh Hart. Yeah, Brian. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. You know who Josh Hart is?
Josh Hart?
You
He's
better
a
be
New
a
York
fucking
Knicks,
Knicks
dude.
fan, bro. If we get,
Oh.
we're gonna talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Just be a Nets and Knicks fan. It's fine. I'll allow it. It's fine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
am. I'm a big fan of Brooklyn Bridges, bro. I'm
So
already
that was the
excited
end
to
of
see what he
Undead
can do.
Unlocked.
I'm
Chris,
excited to see what he
do
does.
you
in the
have any
future.
thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, I think I got it all. I thought the fight was pretty cool. Billy is OP as
Brooklyn
usual.
Bridges, bro.
That's his
Stop it.
name.
Stop it.
That's
Stop
his name. That's literally what they're
Stop it.
calling him.
I'm sorry, Chris. It was egregious.
It's fine.
That's what they call him, bro.
Anyway, I guess that's all my thoughts. The fight was cool. Fight was cool. I guess Brooklyn Bridges is terrible. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, Brian, you fucked up. You fucked everything up, man.
No. Yeah, I think it is funny in hindsight that like Foucault's strategy is going up to these people and talking to them about things they would have no fucking idea what she's saying, and they're just like believing her. They're just like,
Right. That really sounds like me. What if Foucault came up to you and told you about a past life, and you're just like, "Whoa, that really sounds like Christian Espinal."
yeah. I mean, what is this? A Tuesday on the subway? I feel like somebody walks up to tell me about a past life all the time.
Damn.
I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was like fun and it was a good
That's
read.
deep, bro.
Huh?
That's deep, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty cool. I don't really have much else to say. Josh, what did you think?
I said a lot about how I felt about the chapter as I reviewed it, like I usually do, but I don't know, the way they're handling this Billy situation is unique, I guess, because he was kind of his own like villain. He was a villain. He was a boss character at some point. So I knew it wasn't gonna. It makes a lot of sense that it wouldn't just be a simple matter of, hey, we already know the future and the past, and I knew you before, so just join me. It wasn't that easy with the other people, so it definitely wouldn't be that easy with Billy. And maybe he'll form his negator ability after this altercation with Foucault.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll say that it is unfair that you lived for this long and got this many skills and abilities and know about me.
Yeah, I mean,
I would say that's unfair.
it's
Like,
funny.
it's not fair. You knew me and outlived me. You don't know who the fuck you are.
Yeah, it's interesting because some people didn't get their negation. Like, I don't think Nico has his.
All right.
So I think Billy not having his negation, he could get it later on probably, but I think like a lot of the point is that to try and prevent people from getting their negations because they usually get it off the heels of a tragedy.
Yeah.
Or maybe they haven't even really come across his tragedy
Well,
truly yet.
They've been actively trying to like make sure that whatever does happen but like when they do have their negation activate, that it's in a contained, it's a contained situation where the least amount of people get hurt.
Exactly.
So it's probably just a matter of when.
Yeah.
Not if, but just when.
Definitely.
I'm sure. Especially Billy, man. His power was really incredible.
Yeah. I agree.
He's a legit powerhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are all my thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Let's
Same.
take this home.
Yep. That was Undead Unluck. And hey, that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. A little bit of a longer episode for you guys, but I feel like you're owed some content. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you can find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Gym City Josh on Twitter, Brian at B.ESP on Twitter and Instagram. And you can catch him when he's streaming, I guess, on a whim at twitch.tv/it's punchline. You can email the show itself at New Gym City. You can follow show itself at New Gym City on Twitter and Instagram. Email us at newgymcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. That would be super cool to hear from you guys, even though we are backlogged, but that is our fault. Okay. It's nobody's fault but us. we'll make a more concerted effort to get to them at some point. Things have just been a little crazy here. But you could email us there. Keep emailing, comment. I know there's only old videos up right now because I'm still trying to figure out my way around this like newer little workstation. I'm basically sharing a computer right now, so I'm trying not to be too much of a burden, but I'll figure something out. And in the meantime, please like, share all the stuff on YouTube, and we'll be back on there shortly. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. If that's more your jam, if you like the audio podcast a little better, you can take on the go a little easier. They usually go up first, regardless of whether there's a video or not. So please subscribe to us there and leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening. We would definitely appreciate that. And with that being said, thanks so much for sticking with us and for listening. We will see you guys next week. Stay safe, New Gym citizens.
Peace out, y'all. Thanks for listening. Shout out to Brooklyn Bridges. That is a cool name. I'm hating.
Yeah.
He said yeah.
All right. Later, guys.
See you guys.